My mom always says that the 60s were terrible. I'm not sure that's accurate for everyone, but The Crown certainly makes you think the Queen did not enjoy them. And that's not even mentioning the hat situation. Did I get it right? The Crown dives into the relationships and historical tales surrounding the British royal family and brings them to us in bright color. I personally spend half of the episode on Wikipedia fact-checking and then saying, "Oh my goodness, it's true!" The core of this season's story is love. As I watch Queen Elizabeth maneuver her life in Season 3, it's clear that her role separates her from others in her family. She has to make the hard calls. She has to decide when to get involved with her mother-in-law. For most of us, we try to avoid that at all costs. How to deal with a natural disaster, and then regretting it when you handle it poorly. What to do when her son and daughter get mixed up in relationships she doesn't understand. I wonder if Camilla and Anne ever sit down and have a chat about Parker Bowles. She also has to decide to make her son, who is happy at Cambridge, go to Wales for a term, where he's clearly not happy. And in one poignant moment during the heartbreaking third episode, Aberfan, she laments her ability to cry. She claims she can't do it and goes through a whole list of times she should have cried but didn't. I find this fascinating because women are often told not to cry when they're at work. And here's a woman who was working, running a whole country basically, and was a woman in a man's world. Yet even though Queen Elizabeth makes this claim, we see her change throughout the series. In fact, at the end of that episode, when she is alone, a tear slips down her face. She has a tear in her eye when Winston Churchill is on his deathbed. And yet we see her finally cry, openly, with the one she feels closest to, her sister, Princess Margaret. In that moment, she says that Princess Margaret is the person she can't live without. And it makes sense. No doubt she loves her kids and Prince Philip, but those relationships are very different than the one she has with her sister. By the way, this reminds me of another set of siblings we don't see enough of in this series. Prince Andrew and Prince Edward. We see them a couple times and they're very cute. They could have brought lightness to this series. But the theme of sibling love is one that is carried throughout the series and makes one stop and think about those relationships. The show makes the case that Princess Anne and Prince Charles share a special bond that no one else is really privy to. The same goes for Prince Philip's mother, Princess Alice, and her brother, Lord Mountbatten. They discuss things that only they know, even if what they only know is hardship. It goes to show how quite often a shared upbringing bonds people in a unique way. At least that is what Netflix wants us to think as we watch the show. Season 3 is indeed heavy but full of love, and hats that look like pots.